Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So, puppies are doing really good. Everybody's fine. Getting their fill. I wanted to talk about some things. So, I have been noticing that Cashmere has started throwing up again. Actually, I don't think it's throwing up. I think it's actually regurgitation would be a more accurate term for what's going on. I had to do an artificial insemination on Preacher. Not on Preacher, but with Preacher, again today. And I liked the vet that did it. And so when I went, because we did one, I think it was Tuesday. So when I went back up there today, I was talking to him about what was going on. And he mentioned some possible issues. Now, if it's one of the small issues and it's not a big deal, then, he mentioned it could be an ulcer. So, that's awesome. Not awesome, but it's better than some of the alternatives that he mentioned. The concern is that because of the fact that she, as many of you know, whenever I was gone, my dogs were not fed. There was malnutrition going on there. And it can cause, apparently there are some nerves in the esophagus. And it can cause them to start misfiring. And it can cause regurgitation. And the problem with it is that it's very, very, very high upkeep. It's going to require special diet, a lot of special care, and it's not something that I will be able to give her here at my house. There's just no way. She's going to need that one-on-one attention. It is more of like a rescue type situation. When people talk about rescue and they go to the shelter or they go to a foster and they pick a cute little puppy, I don't really consider that rescue unless that animal is going to be put to sleep. I consider rescue whenever you take an animal that nobody else really wants. It's more like foster care. You know what I mean? Foster care, those people don't want those kids. They don't come from great homes. Many of them are older, things like that. You are genuinely rescuing. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. So there's really no telling what it is specifically until I get her up there. But if it is one of those other issues, then I will be spaying her, and I will be finding her a home that can, one second. And I will be finding her a home that can meet her needs. Somebody that is, aware of what is going on and that is going to be able to give her the attention and the diet and everything that she needs to be her best self. So I have an appointment on Monday. So I will know, most likely I'll at least know if it's not the bigger things, hopefully by Monday. Apparently I've basically been wasting a lot of money at the vet that I've been going to, because he flat out said that when you're dealing with regurgitation, it's not a stomach issue. It's like a 10% chance it's a stomach issue. So all the money that I've spent in testing has really been wasted, when all he said I really needed was an x-ray of her chest and the esophagus. So anyway, so that's pretty sad, but it is what it is. Also, I haven't made up my mind yet, but I may not be keeping a female from this litter. Blondie has been producing milk, but not enough on her own. I've been giving her fenugreek, And her mother is that way, and Cashmere's mother was that way. And I guess I figured that breeding away from it, as far as, introducing new genetics and this and that would fix the issue, but it doesn't seem to have done that. And I am questioning whether or not it is a good idea to continue on with the female line whenever this issue does happen. Like I said, I don't know yet. The thing about it is I was doing some research into cows and milk production in cows, and what they did to increase milk production in cows was they only bred the cows that produced the most milk. The problem is that I can't breed every single female that Cashmere produces and see which one of them is affected and which one of them is not. It doesn't work that way. And so I have let my best friend Reese know that has Trinity, that, if Trinity does turn out to go ahead and breed her once, if she doesn't produce correct milk, that probably it's not the best idea to use her. And it's really sad for me because they are such great mothers. They produce great puppies. They have amazing temperaments. But I don't think that it is the best idea to continue to use the females. I think that if I'm going to do this and continue with this line, I need to use the males from the litters and not the females. So anyway, it's a thought that I'm having. I'm not 100% sure on it yet. I need to do more research into it and really find out all the facts. You know what I mean? I don't want to jump to any conclusions. I don't want to make any kind of knee-jerk reactions, but that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I am going to be getting an x-ray very soon of Giovanni and of Admiral to see their hips, so that I can take a look and see that everything is good in there, so that I know whether or not I need to continue with them or not. I will also be doing the same thing with Gina. And I have to admit that Gina's temperament is still worrisome to me. She has gotten a lot better, but her energy level is just so extreme that I worry about what her puppies would be like for people. Now, keep in mind that I'm thinking out loud right now. Nothing I'm saying is guaranteed. I'm just kind of keeping you guys in on my thought process. There's a good chance that I will breed her. As long as her hips are good, I'll breed her to, say, somebody like Preacher and see what kind of temperaments that she produces. And if she produces herself, then I may not use her. Another breeder friend of mine and I were talking pretty late last night, and, she really values phenotype, which is the outside of the dog, the way the dog looks, over temperament. Whereas I care more about temperament than phenotype. Because to me, it doesn't matter how the dog looks. If the dog is so energetic and so out of control that the people don't want the dog, can't train the dog, then what does it matter how beautiful the dog is? You know what I mean? We may be breeding for type and for perfection of our, in the pursuit of perfection. However, somebody has to own the dogs, and so they need to be animals that can be owned by people. You know what I mean? And I think that I was maybe getting a bit of slack. I'm not sure that she's happy that I bred Blondie. And I understand that. I know that there are people that, there's a lot of people that have opinions on that. She even made the comment that to her, it's not a real Corso if it doesn't have the phenotype, if it doesn't look like a real Corso. And I kind of see it as like, well, and on the same breath, if the dog can't work and can't behave like a Corso, how can you call it a Corso? It might look like a Corso, but guess what? If it doesn't behave, if you can't control it, if the energy level is so high that you can't do anything with it, then, you know, what purpose does it serve? It's a working animal. If it can't work, then, you know, it's kind of like the old pit bull thing. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you know, pit bulls, you know, the reason they have the name pit bull is because they fought in pits, you know, and you know, there were a lot of people that believed that there was no use to the dog if it couldn't do its job, you know, and a working dog is supposed to be able to work. That's its job. That's the main thing. I mean, it has no purpose to a person who uses an animal for work if it can't do the work, you know. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. And I think that's a huge difference in breeders and our priorities, you know what I mean, is that I prioritize temperament over phenotype, and other people prioritize the looks over temperament. So it's a weird one, you know what I mean? It's a very weird one. I don't want to lose Cashmere's line, Blondie's line, because the temperaments are so good, you know what I mean? I don't care if people don't like the way that they look, because I just don't care. These are my easiest dogs. You know what I mean? Like, they just are. But maybe I need to work with the sire line and not the dam line. You know, maybe I need to be keeping a male and not a female. So anyway, I guess we'll see what I do, what I choose to do, but I may very well do that. I do have Giovanni. And so long as his health testing is good, you know, I may keep him. It just depends. I may give him to my sister. There are some things about his structure that could be better. It's hard to know if it's a maturity thing, if he's going to mature out of that or not. I don't know. There are also some things about his temperament that I don't like. He tends to be a bit standoffish. As many of you seen in the video, he... like the downtown one, he doesn't really like being touched, things like that. And, you know, there's always the possibility of those things getting better with age, but with him, they really haven't so much. I took him to Home Depot recently, and he didn't really do as well as I would like him to do. So, you know, and you guys know temperament is a big thing to me. So, So these are some hard questions that I am kind of dealing with right now. They're not questions that I want to deal with, but they are questions that I need to deal with. I need to be looking at these things and addressing them and really making choices that are not emotional choices. You know, I got... Which is true. The breeder friend of mine last night basically told me that she feels that I get too emotionally invested in my dogs. And I would agree with that. I do. I tend to get emotionally connected to my puppies. And I will let things slide that other breeders won't, you know. Even my other best friend, Reese, she's told me the same thing, you know. And in order to be a good breeder, you do need to be able to do that. You have to be able to separate your feelings from what is best for the breed. So, pardon me, I have a bunch of phlegm. So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Like I said, if I had to look at my program, look at my dogs, and determine which dogs are the weakest as far as phenotype is concerned, it would have to be, you know, Blondie, of course. Even though Blondie's my daughter's dog, she's not, you know, she wasn't really meant to even be part of my breeding program. It was more of just, you know, she had such a great temperament that I guess we just figured, you know, we'll just see what she does. A lot of people wanted to get a puppy off her, and to be honest with you, these puppies are not bad. You know, the other thing is Cashmere. You know, Cashmere lacks phenotype. Blondie, you're okay. So, and then, you know, Giovanni as well. You know, that Cashmere's line has, she's an American bred dog. She's nothing but American lines. And she, you know, she represents that. You know, she throws that. And so anyway, so like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. Yet I'm just dealing with some hard questions, some hard thoughts. And I just want people to be prepared for the fact that there may be some changes coming to my program. I know people get really emotionally attached to my dogs, but I do have an obligation to the breed. I can't just keep every dog that I'm emotionally connected with. So that's, something to keep in mind. So anyway, I am going to let y'all go. I need some rest. I was literally up till 5 a.m. last night, just talking, trying to figure this out. Really trying to figure out where I'm at on this. So anyway, so we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated as usual. But just understand that I don't make these decisions lightly. And I want to do what's right. Pardon me. And that's not, doing what's right isn't always the easiest thing in the world to do. So anyway, I hope that you guys are having a good night, and I will talk at you later, okay? Bye.